Hello. Project Evolve, we know, is a huge resource with lots and lots of different content stretched across 8 strands, and many teachers have asked us, well, how do I know which bits to teach? Which bits are relevant for my class? Those 8 strands sometimes teachers pack across the whole year within their curriculum planning, but then there are up to round about 30 separate resources per year group, and all of those supporting resources too. How do you know which ones are relevant for the children sat in front of you? Hence our new knowledge map feature, designed to support educators in being able to prioritise which lessons are most appropriate for the children and young people in front of them. Before we dive in though, let's just share some of our thinking around this. We've based these knowledge maps around a continuum called the birch competencies that describes, generally speaking, how knowledge is acquired, from having the completely wrong idea of a concept right the way through to realizing you don't understanding, emerging and developing understanding around that concept, and finally the secure understanding of that concept and your ability to apply it to different situations. Then, for each of the 365 statements in Education for a Connected World, we extracted a central concept and then developed a scenario with a set of responses matching each of those birch competencies. We then developed an environment for children to be able to respond to those particular scenarios in a way that was engaging, that was relevant to their age, their ethnicity, their gender, and their particular phase that they're in too. This is what we think is the world's first concept cartoon generator. Okay, so you can access the knowledge map creator from the front end. Here's the knowledge maps we've done so far. Just click on create knowledge map and it takes you into this first dialog. Give your knowledge map a meaningful name so you can identify it later. That could be the name of your class or a date or something like that. I'm just going to call this demo, and then choose the year group for which you're creating the knowledge map for. I'm going to choose year 6, and then you have these 2 choices down the bottom. You can have to create a live knowledge map which adds the data to your account, or a demo for you to play around. To show you how this works, I'm going to create a live one so the data goes into my account. Click next. And then you get the choice of selecting the strands that you want to build the knowledge map around. You can select up to 10 questions, which could mean 3 or 4 different strands, or just one strand as this managing online information. But I'm going to choose 3 that are very socially PHSE focused. Those 3: self-image, identity, relationships and reputation. And then I'm going to choose the type of knowledge map. Now there's 2. There's a guided one which we'll talk about in another video. That's essentially for younger children, but the independent one allows you children to do, and young people to do this on their own. Once you've made that selection, click save, and it takes you to quite a simple dialog box here that gives you 3 options at the bottom. You can access the survey directly through the tool, or you can copy the link to be able to share it with others through Messenger or different messaging systems or text, or you can create an email and that will generate an email template. If I've copied the link, I can then paste it into other apps to share it around, but I'm going to do this by email, so click on share by email. It generates an email template with some instructions and a link to the test, and then you just forward that to your normal forwarding group, to your class if you're using an email system, or choose the link. I'm just going to dive in and access the survey straight away from here just to give you an idea of what it looks like. Here we can see there's a brief introduction, set of slides that you can click through. You can skip this tutorial in later ones, or children, young people can. It just gives them directions to be able to do it. This is all voice assist, so there is some reading help on there too, and then it gives them the prompt to be able to start it. As I said before, you can skip the tutorial or turn that Google Neural AI text to voice off. And here's the first concept cartoon. It generates avatars that are related to the year group for which you're testing. It also cycles the avatars from a bank, so it's never the same avatars. It cycles them through. The responses appear in different situations because it's drawn from the database. And Simply Child will use the reading help, click on one to hear what it sounds like, make a selection. Once they've made a selection, they go on to the next screen, and it's like about 4 or 5 screens through. For the whole thing, it takes probably about 10 minutes. When you get to the final screen, then you have the option just to make your last choice and then click finish, and it gives you a little message saying, well done, that's it, your teacher will get back to you. So going back to the knowledge map list, now I can go and look at my results. There's the one I've just done at the top of my list here. By clicking on that, it takes me into my results, and there you can see the overview of the birch competencies and the coloured pie chart, and then the responses that children have made to each statement that's been tested, with a list showing you the question that was asked and their response, plus also how that maps against the birch competency. And of course then you want to be able to use these results to be able then to go and decide which ones you need to prioritize, and they're going to be the ones that probably are either red or amber. The green ones, they're secure responses, so perhaps you don't need to prioritize that. I'm going to choose the ones where there were really incorrect responses and just emerging, and then I click save and show planner, and these are the 3 areas that are part of my teaching plan. The 3 things that I'm going to teach with their output criteria. This is really useful to if you've got to submit planning to show what you're going to do over the half term or the unit of work too. But also it's a way for you to be able to go and grab all of those resources all at once. If you go up and click on download resources, that will go and package up a zip file which will have all the resources that you need to teach those 3 statements over however long you're going to teach it in the unit of work that you've tested and prioritized for in the knowledge map, packages them all up, grabs them, wraps them up into a zip file so they're all there ready to use. Whether it's a PDF like this or a PowerPoint, they're all grabbed from the resource base for you. So a few weeks later, after I've taught the unit of work, there's a summary of what I've done and taught. I can then go back and assess the impact. So there's the 3 statements that I focused on, but if I've incidentally taught more, I can just go and click on the ones that I've taught in addition, and then I can set up another knowledge map. Again, I'm going to make it an independent knowledge map, and what this does is regenerate a set of questions that go and measure the impact of it. And again, so by clicking on this, it just generates a new one. I can skip the tutorial, and again I'm off and running with different avatars and responses in different positions, very often different questions that children have, and that will bring data back into the tool to show you the efficacy of what you've done. So now if I go back, I can not only see the baseline too, but I can also click on the impact tab at the top to be able to go and assess the stuff I've taught and what the outcome was in terms of, and we can see, look, there's a nice result. We can see that actually things have improved, and we have the evidence to do that. Later on in the tool, we'll be introducing the dashboard.